नहमदुहु नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनुत्तकुल्लाहा वक़ूलू क़ौलन सदीदा युस्लिह लकुम अअमालकुम व यग़फिर लकुम ज़ुनूबकुम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली. Focus today will be on requirements of good counselors. Sometimes a bad counselor can spoil your potential happy life. Your train was running in a straight direction and somebody came and changed your thinking process and you went into a different direction. So be aware from the people whom you take advices. There is a sister very famous on internet and she was divorced once. And because of the divorce, she became a very poor lady. She had 5 children along with her and one of the child was mentally retarded. Now this lady is alone, but she works hard and gradually builds an empire of business because she is a postgraduate. Once she builds an empire, she starts counseling other females. So far so good. But the problem comes when she encourages other females to take a divorce because she was successful after divorce. So the message is going wrong. The girls who attend her talks, they come back with a feeling that if my husband is acting smart, I can walk out, I can start my own business and be like this rich lady. Her stories of success in business were circulated very widely on her blogs and videos. I will not name the sister because that's not we are discussing about. We are not here to peep into somebody's personal life. I close the identity of the lady, but the problem remains there. So I'm advising you, be very careful whom you take advice from. Even if a person is highly qualified in counseling, if he does not have sound knowledge of Quran and the Sunnah, he can cause a damage to your life. Because you see, when a person is counseling, at times because he is a human being, it might reflect or he might identify his own problems with your problems and he may start giving solution according to his own life. So there can be a problem. Each problem, whenever you require a counseling, each problem has to be dealt separately. My experience cannot be same when you undergo a problem which appears to be similar like mine. So here comes the knowledge of Quran and the Sunnah. Once you are sounded with the knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, so you will be able to distinguish between a good advice and a bad advice. Now what happens when you get a good advice? If you are little bit knowledgeable with Quran and Sunnah, it is easy for you. And my brothers and sisters, be very careful about giving advice and being a counselor to fighting couples if you don't know the fiqh of counseling also. The fiqh of counseling includes reconciliation. We understand that there is a Surah Talaq. It does not mean that Allah encourages divorces. It means that Allah is showing you the way to patch up, to reconcile, and then if things go beyond your control, finally, then you may part. But still Allah says, if you reconcile, it is better for you. So counseling is also responsibility. The Quran says that whatever you speak will be questioned. So just don't interfere and incite people's hearts and minds and encourage them to part from their spouses, because it is shaitan who likes these types of parting. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you study the Quran, Surah Talaq, Surah Nisa, you will see that Allah has also encouraged reconciliation between the two. And Allah says in Surah Talaq that if they want a reconciliation, Allah will cause a reconciliation. Allah says if you want a reconciliation, He will cause it. Means Allah is ready to cause a reconciliation if you want it. But if you are adamant and you have been taking advice from wrong people who are divorced themselves, and they want you to teach a lesson to your spouse because they are still angry at their ex-spouse. So now they are inciting others. Don't take advice from them. If at all you want an advice or counseling, approach a person who is very reasonable in his day-to-day knowledge and also has a knowledge of Quran and Sunnah. Prefer somebody who is very senior in the community or within your family circle. Go and approach them, let them get involved and listen to their good advice, because a good advice cannot be forced. It is just a gifted. Ibn Mubarak radiallahu anhu, a tabi'in, he says that good advice cannot be hammered upon the people. You give them, it's their duty or it's their job to accept or reject. So next time, if you are into these types of fights and struggles, trying to survive in your marriage life, see to it that you approach good people who are famous for reconciliation, polite in approach, and gives you sound reason and logic and can change your thinking pattern. With this, we end this session with loads and loads of dua for reconciliation between you and your spouse if there are any quarrels. And if there are no quarrels, I pray to Allah Almighty that He gives you more love and affection. And do remember us also in your supplications, in your duas. Nisar Nadiadwala for you on the behalf of mybetterhalf.com. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.